Hello and welcome to Start Select, the video game show from GameSpot UK. We go out into the deepest seas and fish out the finest gaming produce for you and serve them up on a silver plate. We've got a cracking show for you this week. Luke Anderson will be checking out PlayStation 3 downloadable title Gravity Crash. I'll be talking to the developers of Metro 2033. And finally, we'll be meeting GameSpot UK's team for the Dragon Age 24-hour Warden's Quest. We'll also be giving away some gaming hardware on the show. A pair of Sennheiser gaming headphones and a Gyration Air mouse are up for grabs, as well as announcing the winner of the PlayStation 3 Slim and Wolverine on Blu-ray from last time. But without further ado, let's crack on with the show.
Metro 2033 is this atmospheric, story-driven shooter, and it's based on the novel by Dmitry Glukovsky. It's set in Moscow in the year 2033, 20 years after this incredible apocalyptic event which has annihilated almost all of mankind. The only survivors were those that were left underground. The Metro underground system itself is effectively the world's biggest nuclear bunker. So the only people that survive are those that were in the Metro at the time. And over that 20 years, civilization has basically evolved and developed underground. So you have this microcosm of human life in the tunnels. The individual stations have turned into these city-states, each one with differing ideologies, forms of government. So you have some which are very hostile, some which are just trying to survive, and all manner of mix in between. So this is the setting into which you're pitched as a player. In the game you play as a young man called Artyom, and Artyom was born in the last years before the fire. He has very distant, hazy memories of what life was like. He can't really picture them, and he has this longing for this world that he's never really known and never really seen.
It ties very closely to the book. I mean, all the main characters follow the book. You know, it's always difficult. I've done a few games based on movies or books, and it's always difficult to follow verbatim just because movies or books don't necessarily follow game timelines, but as closely as we could, and the team, I should say, have followed the book almost religiously. So down to the creatures and a lot of the even small nuances of the different Metro stations.
And you know, the book has been a cult hit and then a mainstream success in Russia. It's been translated into 20 languages. It's actually coming out here in the UK. Don't read it, it will completely spoil the story for you. And what the book brings us is this ready-built, incredibly deep, immersive world, a fantastic cast of characters, and like all the best science fiction, it's not just Space Marine fights aliens. There's a deeper message in it, which is why it's been such a success, we think, in Russia, and the studio have really tried to find a way in which that carries through into the game, and there are some very interesting twists that go into the game that the player will discover as they get to the conclusion.
Yeah, fortunately, this is one situation where the book actually does lend itself pretty well to a video game world and to a video game play experience as well.
There are light RPG elements, but very light. This at its heart, it's you know, it's a linear, story-driven FPS. It's an experience, a ride that you go through from start to finish. So some of the aspects that you'll find are you'll need to conserve resources, ammunition, so filters for your gas mask, ammo for your gun. You even have to charge your flashlight. These are things that you'll need to balance within the game, but it's not really RPG. It's full-on, intensive, first-person shooter action. I
would say that the RPG elements that are in the game are more there to enhance the story than they are there to add RPG elements to the game, if that makes sense.
I think 360 and PC gamers are very well catered for in terms of multiplayer at the moment. So what we wanted to bring was a really memorable, engaging single-player campaign that I don't think we've seen on the platforms for a few years.
There's no multiplayer element to the book.
We think this is it's a huge focus title for NVIDIA. I think it's going to be a 360 exclusive, and we think that we're going to give gamers on both platforms a really great reason to pick up the product.
This week, 10 teams from around the globe, including one recruited from GameSpot UK, battled it out in a Dragon Age competition to win a share of $50,000. I met up with the teams, as well as developer Bioware, to find out more. What's it like to play 24 hours straight of Dragon Age? Well, here in London's council chambers, 10 teams from around the globe are about to find out as they battle it out to win a share of $50,000. Join us as we talk to the GameSpot UK team as well as the developers at Bioware to find out more.
Welcome to the Dragon Age Origins Warden's Quest.
So guys, tell us about the thinking behind today's event. You've invited down 10 teams from around the world to come and battle it out for a share of, is it $50,000?
It is, yeah. It's a $50,000 prize, 9 teams from national teams, and then, of course, Team Bioware, drawn from our own community. It's pretty exciting because they're coming from all different aspects. They're excited about different parts of the game, so it's a great chance for us to kind of see what each team's really excited about with the game. It's also really interesting to watch the two teams kind of spread out, and you know, you see one group where they're just running and charging as fast as they can. Others are searching very carefully because as we're judging, we're making sure that we're catching, you know, like finding information about the world and finding quests on the side. Those are rewarded the same as just charging ahead in the main path.
So what are the main criteria that people can actually win in the game?
Well, it's a mixture of points acquired by level, creatures killed, surviving the challenges, of course, is a major part of it. All those are added together for a final tally, and we do an elimination round every 4 hours.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, they're going to be playing on the Xbox 360 during the elimination round, and we've got the game set to hard, and the challenges are pretty difficult. So I think it's going to be pretty entertaining to watch.
Very, very much an elimination challenge, and what's happening is that the bottom teams from each of the runnings for each hour are going to be brought into that, and then we're going to be eliminating teams as they go. So there's still a chance to pull yourself out of a tailspin, and it's very often that, you know, as players kind of warm up to the game, they're going to do better. So I'm looking to see, you know, a slide. I bet the initial teams we see at the bottom really go pull up their game because it is a daunting challenge.
So what's the thinking for you guys at Bioware for doing this sort of event? Do you get a lot of feedback from your community asking for this sort of thing? Does this go on a lot?
I think, honestly, the community is as surprised as anyone else that we're doing it, but they're very happy. I mean, you know, people are like, oh, my God. And it's really nice just to get a chance to let people who are rabid fans, you know, who've all kind of done different contests or whatever to get here, to try out the game and really, you know, dig into the parts they want. I think, in general, it's something we're hoping sets a bit of a trend because it is new and exciting and, like, I've never seen it before. So, yeah, it's just something we wanted to try to really get people excited about the game.
And why London? The setting is amazing in the council chambers, but why London?
Well, why not? I mean, London's a great place to come, very historic, and Ferelden is very much an analog of a lot of elements of Britain, but certainly not a direct clone by any means. So we thought, well, let's come somewhere with, you know, the old world charm and get some great landmarks and, you know, bring people in and give them a chance to travel to it.
And Bioware, I mean, I'm sure you're not involved with these other projects, but Bioware as a whole must be an exciting place to work right now. Lots of stuff going on over there. What's it like with the teams juggling so many big projects?
Well, we've got the multiple studios, so it helps us keep focused. Certainly, the Mass Effect team and Dragon Age have done some good job of like sharing information and stuff. But right now, we're all heads down, just trying to get both those games out the door, and it is crazy. It's very exciting because the anticipation is really building on Mass. People are getting really excited, and Dragon Age, of course, is just like right on the verge of coming out.
So did the Mass Effect team help you with the console stuff? What was the crossover there?
We actually did, we sat down with their lead designer, Preston, and Casey Hudson, and got sort of the best do's and don'ts from their most recent experience moving from console to PC, which was actually really illuminating, trying to kind of go the other direction. So, you know, obviously you'll see things like the radial menu and being able to pause and play in that are very reminiscent of Mass Effect, which I think is good because, you know, Bioware fans often are Bioware fans. They don't care what we're making. So if they're familiar with the Mass Effect controls, then they can dive right in. And honestly, those controls were well received, so it should work for everybody.
All right, guys, we're down here at the council chambers with the GameSpot UK team. Hello, GameSpot UK team.
Hello.
First of all, give us your names.
I'm Richard Burley.
I'm Jack Payne.
And Chris Collins.
So we're about an hour in now to the competition. How's the first hour gone?
Yeah, the first hour was good. We did a lot of planning and a lot of prep, so that played well in the first hour, and now we're into kind of unknown territory. So our missing fourth teammate is doing all the hard work while we have an interview.
And how do you do prep on a game that isn't actually out yet?
A lot of research. totally. So a lot of the statistics and skills and talents are available for the game online, sort of pre-information, and so we can, from that, we can reverse engineer all our character evolutions in advance. So we're not spending any time looking at new information. We know exactly all our character progressions. So we've done all that. It saves an enormous amount of time.
It was really handy Bioware releasing their character creation tool before the game came out, and obviously lots of fans have been updating Wikipedia and things like that, so they've been really useful. Up late last night on pizza and caffeine and surfing the internet, so it's been really helpful.
And the GameSpot forums, which are always a handy source of information.
Thank you very much. And so you've got the tactics in place, obviously for the first hour, because you've played the first 3 hours. What about long term?
Well, I think we're pretty much, what we're learning as we go. Obviously it's a new game and we're learning new stuff every day. We just had to make a pretty serious snap decision about a whole path of a character based on some information that was incorrect in pre-release information. But we're going as we go. One of the main things we're focusing on is speed, because a lot of the scoring system for this seems to be weighted towards progression through the game. So a lot of the things that we would normally do instinctively about being cautious and exploration and being thorough, out the window. We've just got to crack through the game as hard and fast as possible. It's great for the 3 people that are watching. When you're actually at the console, it's pretty terrifying, but it's great for the 3 people watching, yeah.
I think at the moment we're also keen on trying to avoid the elimination rounds and the sudden transition from the keyboard and mouse onto the 360 pad, so we'll try and avoid the elimination first.
I gather the elimination rounds are pretty intense. I've heard the words X Factor for Dragon Age.
Yes. Yeah, that's it. Hopefully no singing, but hey, we'll see.
The journey must end for the team that has fallen behind. Two teams have made it through this far in their journey to defeat the armies of the Darkspawn. Team Hungary, who have consistently jostled for the first place in the bio community. The time has come to reveal our winner.
The Dragon Age Warden's Quest event ended the following morning with the Hungarian team taking home $50,000 and probably an even greater prize, a good night's sleep. For more on the game itself, check out GameSpot's extensive coverage and watch out for the full review soon. Alright, time to give away some competition prizes now on Start Select. On the last show, we had a PlayStation 3 Slim and a copy of X-Men Origins Wolverine to give away on Blu-ray to celebrate the release of the film on the 19th of October. All you had to do to be in with a chance of winning is answer this simple question. Hugh Jackman is the star of X-Men Origins Wolverine, but in which city was the actor born? The answer was Sydney, and the lucky winner of the PlayStation 3 Slim is Carl Entwistle of Essex. Congratulations, Carl. This early Christmas present will be on its way to you shortly. This week, we have 2 cool hardware prizes to give away, thanks to both Sennheiser and Gyration. First up, we have the PC300 Game headphones, which include both headphones, microphone, and an on-cord volume control. Then we have the Air Mouse, which includes motion sense technology, which offers precise in-air cursor tracking, as well as wireless connectivity from up to 100 feet away. All you have to do to be in with a chance of winning is answer this simple question. In this show, we talk about Metro 2033, which is based on a famous Russian novel. But who is the young author of the book? Email us the answer with your name and address to competitions@gamespot.co.uk, and we'll draw the winners on the next edition of the show. Luke Anderson has been busy this week on the PlayStation Network, checking out upcoming shooter Gravity Crash on your behalf. Here's his report.
Gravity Crash is a gorgeous looking retro shooter, and if you're interested in shoot 'em ups, old school arcade pleasures, or addictive PlayStation Network games, then it's well worth taking a look at. A preview copy of the game was sent to us at GameSpot Towers, and here's what we thought. Published by Sony Computer Entertainment and developed by Just Add Water, the idea of Gravity Crash is to guide your spaceship through a variety of colourful isometric environments while blasting enemies, collecting items, and eventually making your way to a wormhole which serves as each level's exit point. The course you take is always fraught with danger and requires deft piloting if you hope to advance onto the next level. The single-player campaign offers a range of missions spread across various planets. Our preview build contained 5 solar systems, with the first one being the aptly named Basics. There were 6 planets to explore in Basics, and each one had a different mission to the last. There's some good variety in the objectives, and it might ask you to destroy several enemy fuel pods or collect gems and rescue stranded crewmen, for example. At the end of each mission, you're given a score and awarded points for completing the level under par time, rescuing crewmen, collecting gems and artifacts, and activating nodes. There are 2 control options available, and you can choose from single or dual analog stick schemes to pilot your craft through the treacherous alien landscapes. The single stick option is recommended for novices and uses the left stick to steer, while thrust is assigned to a face button. Your craft comes equipped with a shield, and there are 2 options for this. The manual shield is activated by pressing a button, which slowly recharges automatically, whereas the automatic shield will automatically protect you against bumps, but requires you to collect gems to recharge it. Your ship is equipped with a basic laser, as well as one of 4 special weapons. You can only take one of these weapons into battle, but there are 4 to choose from, including a plasma ball, drones, an electromagnetic pulse, and a lightning storm. While the time you're given to complete each mission might be unlimited, your fuel certainly isn't, and you need to blast energy crystals apart to collect more fuel. These are scattered across each level, but there's limited deposits, so you need to make sure you collect these regularly so you don't run out of fuel and get stranded. As the game's title suggests, you also have to worry about gravity's constant pull, and the slightest bump against the terrain will destroy your ship. Thankfully, your shield protects you against this, as long as it still has energy. Some sections are underwater, and instead of fighting gravity, your craft's buoyancy will mean you need to watch out for rocks above you. While exploring the far-flung reaches of space, you encounter a wide range of enemy units, including enemy craft, soldiers and installations, as well as hostile aliens. Not everything you encounter is hostile, however, and there's helpful items such as energy crystals, switches, activation nodes, and weapon upgrades along the way. There are also artifacts and various gems to be found throughout the levels, and these earn you bonus points at the end of each round. Gravity Crash also has what looks to be a robust level editor, and in addition to terraforming the terrain from scratch, you can insert dozens upon dozens of items, including enemy and friendly units, alien lifeforms, crystals, and objectives. It looks like you'll be able to share these with the PSN community in the final release, although there weren't any of these levels available at this time. Gravity Crash's visuals are eye-catching, and it boasts a funky isometric look, which will appeal to fans of Tron, Geometry Wars, or Darwinia. Objects glow with bright fluorescence set up against the abstract backdrop of space, and this is complemented by an electronic soundtrack. There are also some cool sound effects in the game, with plenty of satisfying beeps and buzzes. Gravity Crash combines a great visual style with some addictive gameplay, and we're looking forward to trying out the final game for ourselves. The game's yet to be given a firm release date, but stay tuned to GameSpot for more information in the future.
That's all for this episode of Start Select, but remember you can catch Start Select and all the other great GameSpot international video content on YouTube. Just head over to youtube.com/GameSpot. Tatty bye!